On June 29th, 2016, the NHL was changed, and the ramifications are still being felt to this day. First, let's get into that June 29th, 2016 headspace. Drake's One Dance is on top of the charts. The Three Amigos Summit takes place as Barack Obama, Enrique Peña Nieto, and Justin Trudeau meet, and this big ass diamond was sold for $61 million. But to hockey fans, none of this matters because between 334 and 357, three huge moves were made in the league. And in this video, we will look at those moves and their context. At 3:34 p.m., the first pick of the 2010 draft, Edmonton Oiler Taylor Hall, who was 23 years old and coming off of a 26-goal, 65-point season, still had good upside and was an all-star the previous season, was traded to the New Jersey Devils for Adam Larsson. Now, no offense to Larsson, he's a solid third or second pairing defenseman, but this trade was wildly unbalanced. With the rise of McDavid, the Oilers were looking for defense and seemingly would trade anything except McDavid to get it. But Larsson was a very strange choice, especially with a still growing player like Hall. Larsson was only 1 year younger than Hall and had 3 goals and 15 assists in the previous season. And yes, Hall was injury prone, but in 2015, both Larsson and Hall had their first 82-game season. When Oilers GM Peter Chiarelli talked about the trade, he basically said that it was necessary to advance the Oilers. He also specifically references how Larsson is a guy that can log 25 minutes a night. In Larsson's first season on the Oilers, he averaged about 18 minutes and 21 seconds of even strength time a night, putting him at 51st in terms of even strength time on ice. For his entire career in Edmonton, he never averaged even 22 minutes a night. The only time Larsson cracks 22 minutes is when he goes to the Kraken, and he's been great on Seattle so far. They gave up a high upside player like Hall, and he didn't even utilize Larsson like they were supposed to. And for a first overall pick, Hall was not living up to those high expectations, but to trade him for a borderline top 6 defenseman is just ridiculous. All that Hall could do is prove the Oilers wrong, and boy, he did. Okay, his first season in New Jersey was just okay. He had 53 points in 72 games for a solid season, and he was part of the All-Star game. But luckily, the next year, Taylor Hall popped off. In a career year, Taylor Hall had 39 goals, 54 assists, and 93 points, and won the Hart Trophy for MVP of the season. Just a complete FU to the Oilers and the people who doubted him. And for new hockey fans seeing just how much of a dog Taylor Hall is, he's always had this dog in him.
Like Yans, no disrespect to Philly, but like, how do you watch hockey and pick Philly?
But injuries have made it difficult for him to always show it. Kudos to him, though, for a great playoff run and being second in Conn Smythe voting. And one more thing. When researching for this video, I saw that Adam Larsson has a face-off win, so shout out to him. Wait, what time is it? If you're enjoying these videos, please, Scott Steven, check the subscribe button if you haven't already, so this channel can get off the floor and on the board. Thank you all so much for your support so far. At 3:54 p.m., we get another one-for-one trade, but this time for two much more even players. In a deal between the Nashville Predators and the Montreal Canadiens, PK Subban is sent to Nashville and Shae Weber goes to Montreal. This trade was extremely surprising. First, Shae Weber, who was the captain of the Predators and a current Hall of Famer, was 30 at the time and coming off of an all-star season and winning the Marc Messier Award for leadership. He was known for his hard shot and those leadership abilities. Just a super solid guy and player. On the other hand, PK Subban was a firecracker. One of the biggest personalities in the NHL, he was coming off of a 50-point season and was only 26 at the time. Both teams wanted to change things up, and this did exactly that. Montreal gained a leader who would eventually be their captain and was a huge part of their run to the Stanley Cup Finals in 2021 and retire with the Canadiens after that run. On the other hand, like a firecracker, Subban fizzled out. He had 2 good seasons in Nashville, but after that, injuries and declining ability caused him to really slow down. He actually crossed paths with Taylor Hall in New Jersey before retiring at only 32 years old. Compared to the Hall-Larsson trade, this is much more even. Subban was fun in Nashville and fit in much better with their bold, brash style of play and culture. And while Nashville trading their captain was surprising, it just seemed like the right time for Weber to move on. With Subban, the Predators would make a run to the Cup Finals of their own in 2017, but lost, just like the Canadiens. Nowadays, you can see PK Subban on TV, and during these playoffs, he talked about Taylor Hall a lot. Funny how these things keep staying connected. This is a rare trade that I feel like worked out for both teams. Both teams got one trip to the Cup Finals out of it, but neither could finish the job. Only 3 minutes later, after all of this commotion, things stayed more of the same when Steven Stamkos signed an 8-year contract with the Tampa Bay Lightning. After being drafted by the Lightning first overall in 2008, Stamkos had been their star. His rookie season, he was ninth in voting for Rookie of the Year. But in his second year, he won the Maurice Richard with 51 goals, and then 2 years after that, won it again with 60 goals. Stamkos was a complete monster, but it seemed like he might go somewhere else on July 1st. Stamkos had not won any cups with the Lightning up to this point, and he may have thought there were greener pastures. As usual, Toronto seemed to be the most rumored destination for him, but instead, he resigns with the team that drafted him, signing an 8-year, $8.5 million contract and getting a $1 million raise on his AAV. And Stamkos would go on to win 2 Stanley Cups with the Lightning. Interestingly enough, he would only play 1 game in the playoffs for the first cup, but he was a huge contributor to the second one. Also, after that contract ran out, Stamkos would decide to leave the Tampa Bay Lightning for the Nashville Predators, and he has not been in the playoffs since. This one is interesting because of the what if. What if Stamkos went to the Leafs and he was able to be a veteran on that team with young Matthews, Marner, Nylander, and Riley? Would it have changed the trajectory of their success? And yes, the 1 game Stamkos played to win that first cup was important emotionally, but the team didn't actually need him to win. Is there a reality where Stamkos is traded or the Lightning free up that cap space and sign someone else that gets them more cups? I don't know for sure. What I do know is that June 29, 2016 changed the NHL, and I'm so thankful for all of you watching. Please comment your thoughts below, like if you enjoyed, and subscribe for more.